This video is brought to you by life insurance and 2 free stocks when you deposit $100, both which you can get in as little as 5 minutes via the links below. Never before has a presidential convention been held like the one Democrats wrapped up last night. No live crowds, no after parties. It was like the potential future of democracy being conducted on a gigantic Zoom meeting. But at least it was being conducted. Congress doesn't like Zoom, so they decided to take off work instead. Who needs stimulus in the middle of a pandemic and a recession anyway? Well, here are some key takeaways from last night and what they tell us about the next 73 days. Democrats seemed eager to rally around Joe Biden, despite concerns that he's a 77-year-old white male. The second choice, aka the second nominee, was a 78-year-old white male. So it looks like Democrats went with age and went with the younger one, Joe Biden, and not Bernie Sanders. Biden used his acceptance speech to highlight his vision for dealing with the challenges facing the country and said, quote, "Character is on the ballot. Compassion is on the ballot. Decency, science, they're all on the ballot." But you know what's still not on the ballot? Kanye West's name. The rapper representing the birthday party with address 1977 Gold Digger Avenue continues to draw media attention. And according to the USA Today, some Democrats worry that Kanye could cut into Biden's support with younger black voters. Last week, Kanye confirmed a meeting with White House advisor Jared Kushner, who said, quote, "Kanye had some great ideas that he'd like to see happen in the country." And if by great ideas, Jared, you meant having your election name registered as Kanye D's Nuts West, then sure, Jared, Kanye's got some great ideas. What a week. My shoulders are still stuck up to my ears from all the cringing during the DNC. One cringeworthy moment yesterday was when Senator Elizabeth Warren spoke at the Native American Caucus virtual panel. She accused Trump of having, quote, "failed Indian country" by not sending enough coronavirus relief. Speaking of failing and Indian, previously Warren claimed Native American heritage. Yet her DNA test revealed she was only 1,024th Native American. That's right, less than 1/10 of 1% Native American. Even a pair of moccasins contain more Native American DNA than Elizabeth Warren. Rumor has it, she's in a new documentary called The Last of the Mohicans. But before Biden delivered his speech, a bunch of former Democratic candidates also spoke to one another via virtual conference. It was kind of like watching a Brady Bunch rerun, but instead of that opening with Greg, Peter, Bobby, Marcia, Jan, and Cindy, it was Bernie, Vito, Mayor Pete, Elizabeth, Corey, and instead of Alice the maid popping up in the middle, we got Andrew Yang. They also added a new segment to the DNC on the last night. They added people up for investigation, and Hunter Biden came out, whom Trump says profited off Joe Biden's vice presidency and is therefore being investigated. This makes me wonder if next week during the Republican National Convention, we'll have a Republican version of people being investigated. And this segment will feature Michael Cohen, Roger Stone, Paul Manafort, Michael Flynn, and a cameo by the founder of multiple charities. Yes, the indicted Steve Bannon, of course, who allegedly raised $4.4 million in charitable contributions, will make an appearance. After raising $4.4 million in charitable contributions, apparently he spent $4.3 million on expenses. Expenses including loans to himself and grants to his sons, plus another in management fees. You know, people are commonly worried about nonprofits and how much money people donate actually goes on the things they care about versus administration. Well, here you go. You have a nonprofit that has a 97.7% payout ratio. That is 97.7% of all donations go directly to Steve Bannon's pocket. Last night also included a tribute to the late Representative John Lewis, featuring a performance by John Legend and Common. This is leaving some Republicans wonder whom they will have left to choose from. Right now, it looks like they're choosing between guitarist Ted Nugent and Kid Rock. But last night wasn't all somber and serious. Someone had the crazy idea to have Elaine from Seinfeld, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, do a stand-up comedy routine in an empty studio without an audience. after her joke claiming that Joe Biden goes to church so regularly that he doesn't even need tear gas and a bunch of federalized troops to get him there, I realized Julia Louis-Dreyfus was actually Mitch McConnell wearing a mask because that joke was dead on arrival. Sarah Cooper then made an appearance, famous for her viral lip syncs of Donald Trump's remarks. She talked about the importance of voting, and it made me wonder if we'll have a comedian lip sync some of Biden's oopsie moments, such as when Joe Biden said, quote, "Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids." Yes, because accidentally implying that poor kids are not white is right up there with injecting Clorox and irradiating ourselves with UV light. By the way, former FDA Commissioner Scott Gottlieb today said, quote, "I do think that we're going to have a third act of this virus in the fall, and the winter is likely going to have more pervasive spread in a broader part of the country." Now, in fairness, the last time I heard anything referred to as being in the third act, it was when Montague claimed a, quote, "plague of both of your houses" in Romeo and Juliet. And then Romeo and Juliet died. And now I kind of feel like Congress, the stimulus negotiations, and this pandemic are all just an allegory to Romeo and Juliet, aka we're all screwed. On stimulus, tomorrow we expect to actually see Congress make some progress. Yes, I said that correctly. We expect to see Congress make some progress, and we will be wonderfully disappointed as usual. Now, in fairness to Nancy Pelosi did say that she's willing to handle state and local government funding in January and address urgent needs of unemployment and rental assistance now. So I decided to look up urgent in the dictionary, and I found a congressional dictionary version. It says urgent, an adjective requiring immediate attention, as long as it does not interfere with recess. Republicans are now gearing up for their convention in Charlotte, North Carolina. The RNC will include a 42-page health plan and guidelines requiring masks and 6-foot social distancing rules to normalize the experience. Yes, they said normalize. And if you're wondering how easy it is to normalize during a pandemic, just ask Major League Baseball, who earlier today canceled the Mets-Yankees Subway Series because more players tested positive. At this rate, baseball will be replacing peanuts and Cracker Jacks with ventilators and PPE. Also, at a time when the economy is taking a severe hit and many of us are food insecure, Chipotle restaurants in Pennsylvania are being sued for rounding up customers' tabs and keeping the change to the tune of hundreds of thousands of dollars. When a restaurant spokesperson was questioned, he said, "It's not your business," and executives from the company are expected to get together and talk over it. Well, there you have it, folks. If you like this kind of content, make sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and folks, we'll see you next time.